All right, welcome to your practice. We'll begin in crocodile pose on our bellies. You can let the feet come a little wider than the hips. The toes can face in or out or down. Do what's comfortable for your hips today. And let your arms be crossed, grabbing opposite elbows, and rest your head either on your forearms or a cushion or a block. We'll begin here in our centering posture. And take a moment to ask the question, how do I feel today at this time? How's my body doing today? Are there any areas you'd like to pay attention to or be sensitive to? How's the mind doing today? Is the mind feeling active or dull? Pretty even paced or distracted? No judgment. Just knowing where you begin. And now begin to tune into your breath, feeling as you inhale without effort, but when the inhale comes, feel the rib cage expand, the belly press into the floor gently. And as you exhale, the spine softens towards the floor, belly relaxes. There is just a slight bit of effort in this type of breathing, but we don't want to force, not over efforting in any way. So you may begin to feel the breath smooth and even, letting go of any pauses between the inhales and exhales. If you do have an intention or set one for your practice today, please bring it to mind now as you continue that smooth and steady breath. And as you may hear Tortilla snoring in the background, and then from here, we'll gently rock the head from side to side and wiggle the toes. And when you're ready, we'll make our way onto our backs. So take your time to roll over onto the back. And we'll bend the knees and place the feet flat to the floor. So heels can be as close to the seat or a little bit farther away as you like so you feel stable. And the feet are again about hip distance apart, arms down by your sides. So we'll begin with some pelvic floor work, and there won't be any external movement. It'll be an internal engagement, right? To kind of shore up at the bottom of the pelvis. So to begin, soften around the shoulders, soften around the jaw, relax the fingers. And as you inhale, let the belly expand. And as you exhale, draw the pelvic floor in and up, that muscle band between the pubic bone and the tailbone. And then as you inhale, slowly release that band of muscle. So we exhale to gently and slowly engage. And we inhale to slowly and gradually release. And then keep going with that. Again, you might notice some tension creep up in other areas of the body, try to soften. And then if you'd like to add the feet and the inner thigh engagement, the next time you exhale, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, and then lift the pelvic floor. And as you inhale, relax the pelvic floor, the inner thighs, and then the feet. With the gradual engagement, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, engage the pelvic floor. And as you inhale, release in the opposite pattern. So just a few more rounds like that. So feeling that energy draw from the feet up through the hips as you exhale, and then a softening as you inhale. Great. And then release that. Go ahead and widen the feet as wide as your mat. And just let the knees gently sway from side to side. So soften any residual tension. Relax those muscles around the feet, the inner thighs, the pelvis. And take some nice soft breaths here. Great. And then let's draw the knees into the chest. Hug them in. And you can rock from side to side or rock and roll up and down the spine, and we'll come to a comfortable seated position. And that may be in a chair for this next bit. So you can sit on the floor, on a prop, or in a chair. Just making sure that the spine can be nice and tall. So as you're sitting here, we'll begin again with the feet, right? So take a hold of or get access to your right foot here. And that can be, you don't have to sit in any certain way, but accessing the right foot. And then interlace the fingers between the toes, as far in toward the base of the toes as you can get. And make sure this right ankle is resting on something. You can take your right hand to the right ankle there, right shin, excuse me, to support. And just feel that stretching of the toes, between the toes there. And then you can use the hand to squeeze the ball of the foot, the top of the foot with the fingers, the ball of the foot with the base of the hand. Just kind of squeezing there, get a little massage. And then we'll begin to roll through the ankle in one direction. So use your arm and your hand to initiate and move the foot rather than any foot muscles. And then move in the opposite direction. So you can do this pretty slow and even pace like I am, or you can make it a little bit quicker, your choice. And the breath stays nice and easy as we come back to center, and then pull the foot towards you. So you're pointing the foot, and then push the foot away. So you're flexing the foot, and do that over and over, pointing and flexing the foot. Again, using your arm rather than your foot and ankle calf muscles to do the motion. Nice. And then come back to center, spread the toes one more time with the fingers there, and release. So a little slap, slap, slap up and down, sides, top and bottom of the foot there, just waking up all those little nerve endings. And then use your fingertips, kind of tap, tap, tap that foot lightly, up and down, side to side. And then release. Go ahead and bring the legs out in front of you. You can rest back on the hands. If you're sitting in a chair, let the legs come long in front of you as well. And just notice any difference that you feel between the right and left foot, just with that short little practice there. Nice. And then we'll take the other side. So find your comfortable seat again. Find a way to access your left foot, and then interlace the right fingers between the toes. Get them in there down towards the base as far as you can. And then support your left shin with that left hand. Nice. And then just begin a little squeeze and release with the hands, with the right hand on that left ball of the foot, top of the foot. And squeeze the toes. And then pause there and then begin your ankle circles, ankle rolls there. One direction. If you find you're overly crunching forward, go ahead and remember to sit up nice and tall. More a reminder for myself there. And then switch directions. You can go fast or slow or change the pace in between, that's fine. Breath is easy. And then pause and bring the foot towards you, pointing the foot. And then press the foot away, flexing the foot. And back and forth, nice and smooth. You can coordinate this movement with the breath if you like, or just go at a pace that works for you. And then come back to center, spread the toes one more time. And release. Go ahead and bring the legs out in front of you again. Sit back on the hands. You can let the shoulders shrug up towards the ears here. And then notice, again, any difference or similarities between any spaciousness or aliveness, sensation in the feet. And then we'll sit up nice and tall once again. But in a comfortable cross-legged position. Hands rest on the thighs or on the knees here. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears as you inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, release the shoulders down. Again, inhale, roll the shoulders forward and up towards the ears. And then exhale, back and down. Keep going just like that, working with your inhale and exhale. And notice what happens if you lightly engage the pelvic floor. Do you sit up a little bit taller? Switch directions when it makes sense. We'll do about the same number of rolls in each direction. And then after about an equal number of rolls in each direction, draw the shoulders up towards the ears, shrug your shoulders, and then simply let the shoulders release on your next exhale. You can let them drop. Inhale, draw the shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale, let them drop. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Nice. Bring your chin over that right shoulder. As you exhale, turn the head to the right as much as you can. And then inhale to center. Exhale left. And inhale to center. Eyes can be opened or closed here. Keep going with your breath. And you'll notice the smoother the breath pattern, and the smoother this movement will become. Once you've done an equal amount on both sides, head back to center. Drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Soften that left shoulder down. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Soften the right shoulder. And inhale back to center. One more time to each side, taking your time here. And then the next time the right ear goes towards the right shoulder, stay for a moment. Soften in the shoulders without jamming them down. And then dip the chin towards the chest, but keep the chest lifted. And then roll the left ear to the left shoulder. So just some half rolls here. Chin to chest and ear to shoulder. You can lift the chin a little bit if you like as you bring the ear towards the shoulder, feeling that stretch, the sides of the neck. And drop the chin towards the chest one last time. Lift the chest in towards the chin. Feel maybe a stretch between the shoulder blades down the back of the neck. And then slowly lift the chin level with the floor. Great. We'll come off of our seats and come onto hands and knees. So if the floor is a bit hard for you today, you can place a blanket underneath the knees. Coming onto hands and knees here. And then shift the weight from hand to hand, just a little bit of warm up for the wrists here. Press into the base of each finger rather than dumping into the wrists. And again, a gentle lift in the pelvic floor, low belly, inner thighs to support this movement. Turn the fingers out towards the wide edges of your mat. Keep on rocking from side to side. Maybe turn your fingers back towards your knees. Point the fingers back to the wide edge of your mat and then towards the front of your mat. And then maybe turn the fingers in towards one another. Just rocking from side to side. Turn the fingers back towards the front of your mat. Maybe come up onto the fingertips, kind of press down into the fingertips there. Walk your fingertips back towards your knees and come onto the tops of the hands. So a little less pressure in this position. It's a little bit more extreme for some of us. And then come back to your tabletop position. Draw the navel in and up, press down into the knees, lift the inner thighs. As you exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. And as you inhale, soften the belly, lift the heart. So simple cat cows here again, smoothing out the breath to smooth out the movement. Eyes can be opened or closed here. So thinking of this as a opportunity for a moving meditation. Last couple rounds. The next time you round into angry cat pose, press the back of the heart towards the sky, release the head and the neck, draw up on the low belly, breathe here. Really eke out lots of stretch, lots of length in the back body. And then release the hips back towards the heels in the child's pose. You can stack the fists to rest the head here. Rest the head on the arms or on the floor. Take a big breath into the belly, soften the belly, and a deep breath out. Reach your arms forward if they weren't already. Come back onto hands and knees. And then extend your right leg back. The toes can be on the floor to start. And again, feel that lift up through the inner thighs, the pelvic floor and low belly to support you. From there, inhale, lift that right leg, just in line with the hip. Keep the hips and shoulders square to the floor. And then maybe reach that left arm long. Fingertips can always tap back down on the floor. And then from here, draw the elbow and the knee together underneath you. Really round the spine again. Inhale, extend and reach. Exhale, curl in and round. Look towards your knee or your belly. Inhale and extend. One more. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, extend, and then stay here in the balance for a moment. Find your breath. Really press into that right hand and maybe sweep that left arm and right leg out to the side. The breath might be a little bit more constricted here. Try to keep it smooth. And then come back through center. Reach from hand to foot and release. Press back to child's pose for just a moment. Roll out the wrists here if you need to. Shake out the fingers. And come back up into hands and knees. So we'll prepare for the other side. Again, engage the inner thighs, pelvic floor, low belly, and extend that left leg long. Toes on the ground to start. Press into the hands. And then maybe lift that leg in line with the hip. And if you're ready, reach that right arm long. So feel the little adjustments that the body makes. Balance is never still, so allow your body to adjust. And then as you're ready, round the upper back. Draw that elbow to opposite knee underneath you, and then extend and reach. Two more just like that. And the next time you extend long, stay. Find a steady gaze point. Soften the shoulders. And maybe you reach that right arm, left leg out to the side. As you're ready, realign the arm and the leg, reach long and release. Press back to child pose one more time. Roll out the roll out the wrists here. And then reach the arms forward and we'll press up into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog here, upside down B. You can pedal out the feet. You can sway the hips from side to side, shake the head yes and no. Notice if you want to make any adjustments to your down dog today, if there's something different you'd like to try, wider feet, closer hands, etc. And then from here, look back towards your feet. Walk your hands back towards your feet, stack your hips over your ankles. Release your head and neck. And soften in the knees here. Grab opposite elbows if you like, and a gentle sway from side to side. Again, let the back of the neck be long. And then center the weight over the feet again, release the hands. Bend the knees a lot and begin to round up the spine. Again, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the pelvic floor to draw you upright. To find mountain pose. And then from here, we'll practice our abdominal squeeze. So widen the feet as wide as your, or a little bit wider than the hips, wider than the shoulders. Bend the knees, place the hands just above the knees. Fingers can face out or in, your choice. But I want to make sure to lock out the elbows here and let the upper body be supported by the arms here. So working with those those muscles again of feet, inner thighs, and pelvic floor to churn up some energy in the body. So inhale, soften the belly, lift the heart, just like you were going into cow pose. And then as you exhale, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the pelvic floor, low belly, and round. So it's kind of a wave up the body. And then as you inhale, soften the shoulders, belly, pelvic floor, inner thighs. Exhale, press into the feet, squeeze all the way up the body through the top of the head. And then inhale, release, and soften, lift the heart. And then keep going here. You determine how vigorously or strongly you would like to make this abdominal squeeze. And mentally tracing that engagement up the body as you exhale and round, and then back down the body as you release. Last round or so here. And then release and go ahead and take yourself to mountain pose at the top of your mat. So we'll take a moment here in mountain pose just to notice the effects. You can have the arms down by your sides or at the heart. Noticing the effects of that practice. So that's a preparatory practice for Agnisara, this kind of building up of fire in the belly. It's a fantastic practice for wintertime, especially to kind of keep that heat moving that we don't see so much in the outside world right now. And then draw your hands to heart center if they weren't already. Soften your shoulders, heavy in the heels. As you inhale, sweep the arms wide enough overhead. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and side bend to your right. Press into the feet. Inhale, come back to center, reach up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Grab that right wrist, pull the arm over. Inhale, back to center, reach up. Exhale, bend and widen the elbows, lift the heart. And then exhale, forward fold. Lift, halfway, lengthen here. And forward fold, release the head and neck. Hands to your hips, draw the elbows back. As you inhale, lift all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll explore those poses a little bit more. Inhale, sweep up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and side bend over to the right. And then stay here. So find equal weight in both feet. And really press into the feet, lift the pelvic floor, and feel that length all along the side body here. Okay, find your breath. You can soften the shoulders again. And we'll take a little balance. So shift your weight into that left foot and maybe let that right foot hover. Maybe lift that right leg out to the right. Again, there's always movement and balance, so let yourself move. And then set that right foot back down. Come on back up and release the arms for just a moment. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. And back to mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull over side bending. So equal weight in both feet to start. Press into the feet, lift the inner thighs, low belly. And then from that stability, shift the weight into your right foot and maybe hover that left foot off the floor. Keep breathing. Maybe you lift that leg a little higher, maybe not. And then set that foot back down, come back to tall mountain pose. Draw the elbows wide, lift the heart. And then come back through center, release the arms, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, then bend the knees, sink the hips into Utkatasana chair pose. Lift the torso. Hands can come to heart center here. You can bring the arms out to goalpost position or reach the arms up and overhead, your choice. And as we breathe in this pose for a few breaths, again, come back to your stability. So again, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the pelvic floor, and notice that maybe the upper body just naturally finds some length. One more breath here, maybe sink the hips. And then exhale, straighten the legs and forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway again. Keep the heart reaching forward as you send your right foot back into a lunge. So the knee can be up or down here, your choice. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, press your right heel back. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, press that back leg strong. Nice. Simple transition, step up, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Step your left foot back into a lunge. Back knee can be lifted or to the floor. And so finding some stillness here. As you inhale, reach the heart forward. As you exhale, press that back leg back. One more just like that. Try to lengthen from the inside out. And then on your next exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Then plant the hands, step back to the top of a push-up on knees or toes. And just like in the lunge, inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, press your heels back. Feel your strength here, feel some heat building maybe. And then lower the knees to the floor, press the hips back to child's pose. You can keep the toes tucked for a little bit of a toe stretch here. On your next inhale, rock forward to table and send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So kind of breaking down our traditional sun salutations here, taking some time to explore. Go ahead and walk your hands back towards your feet into a forward fold, release your head and neck. Hands to your hips, draw the elbows together behind you, press into the feet to come on up to standing at the back of your mat. Hands come to heart center, take a walk to the top of your mat. Now we'll take all those little pieces and string them together into our sun salutation. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. So even if you just remember one engagement cue, take that. Inhale, reach the heart. Exhale, send your right foot back into your lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, come to table. And exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back toward your feet, forward fold at the back of your mat. Inhale, hands to the hips, elbows draw back to draw you all the way to standing. And hands to heart center, take a walk towards the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Excuse me, lift halfway, lengthen. And send your left foot back into your lunge. Inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, pose. Inhale here, engage the inner thighs, low belly. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale to table. And exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet, forward fold, release your head and neck. And then hands to your hips, draw your elbows back, press into the feet to rise to stand. And take a walk towards the top of your mat, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway, lengthen. Bend the knees, sink the hips back into that chair pose. Inhale, lift the torso. Hands and arms in any variation that suits you. Remembering the support from the bottom up here. And then stay in this deep squat, or chair pose if you wish, or you can come to mountain pose for a break. We're gonna send the right foot back into warrior one. So turn the back heel down, front knee stays bent, reach the arms up, warrior one. So even here, when the legs are apart, we try to remember that inner thigh, pelvic floor, low belly engagement. Nice. Extend into that front knee, press into both feet to reach the heart up. And then sweep the hands behind you. You can clasp the hands at the low back or stack them as you lean forward into Konasana, pyramid pose. You're welcome to stay a little more upright or release the upper body over that front leg, release the head and neck. So again, really easy to kind of sink and dump into this pose. So can you press away from the floor and then let the head relax? Inhale, lengthen to come on back up. Reach the arms up, bend into that front knee, warrior one. And then we open out to warrior two. So adjust your stance, shoulders, hips open, arms to a T. Front knee tracking over towards the pinky toe. Nice. From here, straighten that front leg, rotate the front palm to face up and lean back. Reverse triangle here. Building the pose from the ground up. And then come back upright, reach the arms to a T and lean forward. I like to walk my back foot forward just a bit to come into triangle pose. This bottom hand can be above or below the knee or to the floor or to a block. Nice, steady breath. Inhale, come on back up. Turn the toes out, heels in, face the wide edge of your mat, goddess pose. Bend the knees, bend the elbows wide. So stay up a little higher or sink lower, really your choice today, whether you want more heat or less. Keep the heart open. And then little side bends. So try to tap maybe the elbow towards the knee as you side bend one direction. If that's too much, you can straighten the arm and simply go from side to side like so, tapping the hand to the knee or going a little deeper and tapping the elbow to the knee. But try to keep the torso as upright as you can. Breathing as smoothly as you can. And then coming back to center, reach up, straighten the legs, star pose, 5-pointed star. And then hands to the hips. So we'll switch our feet angles. Turn your right toes out, turn your left toes in. So maybe you're facing the back of your mat. Bend into that front knee, warrior one. Reach the arms up and find your pose here. So press into the feet, lift the inner arches. Maybe find some space for breath in the low back. And then straighten that front leg, lift the heart as you release the hand behind you, and forward fold. Again, you can stay a little more upright or you can release the upper body. But keep squeezing the shoulder blades onto the back. So I noticed that my toes were kind of gripping and crunching. So soften the toes. Reach the heart forward to come up, coming back into warrior one. And then open out to warrior two. So adjust your stance here as you need to. Take up lots of space. But still we feel contained, right? So we're not just flinging our energy out anywhere. We contain through the center of the body. And then we extend out with intention. Extend that front leg, reach that top arm up, back hand goes to the back thigh. Nice. And then come back upright, arms to a T, maybe heel toe that back foot up a bit. So lean forward, right hand above or below the knee, maybe to the floor or block. Reach that top arm to the sky, triangle pose. And if we've practiced this pose 1,000, a million times, try to find something new. So again, I've been playing with squeezing the inner thighs and turning the hips down a little bit so I don't over rotate in my hips there. But then opening through the heart to get a little twist. Been my plan. Bend into that front knee, come on back up. And again, turn the toes out, heels in, come into your goddess pose. So arms can be out, elbows bent to the sides. Hands can come to heart center if you'd rather. I'm taking about 3 to 5 breaths here. And even in this wide stance, shoring up in the center of the body. Lift the pelvic floor, lift the low belly, lift the heart. And then as you're ready, heels behind the toes, straighten the front legs, reach the arms up. You might know where we're going, we're forward folding. So reach the arms towards the floor to a block. Heart reaches forward and then maybe we forward fold. So it's your choice if you like to stay more upright today, kind of a half lift, or release your head to the floor. And the legs, the hips, the belly stay active, right? So every exhale, we engage the low belly for support. Inhale, lift the heart, begin to walk your hands back towards the front of your mat, turn your toes forward, and press back to your plank pose on hands and knees or hands and toes. Lift the low belly, reach the heart forward, and then we rest in child's pose. Deep breath into the low back, deep breath out. From here, let's come back to tabletop pose, and we'll take a balance. So choices here for gate pose or side plank pose, okay? So we'll start in gate pose. So kick your left foot out to the left as a little kickstand, and then extend your right leg back, toes on the ground. Press into your left hand, and then begin to open out towards the right side of your mat. Turn that back heel down and reach the top arm up. So we're welcome to stay here. Let's check out some points here of, again, drawing the low belly in and up, pelvic floor engaged, press into that back foot, and then feel the heart lift, the arms reach from there. If you'd like, you can lift this bottom knee and either place the outer edge of the foot behind that right foot, or you could stack the feet. This bottom hand is a little bit ahead of the shoulder here. So we're breathing, and there are lots of variations, right? So we could lift this top leg if we wanted to, whether the knee is up or down. We could come into tree pose. So lots of options. Make sure you're breathing. And then as you're ready, release. Coming back to our plank pose and resting in child's pose for just a moment. And this might be where you want to roll out the wrists here, flip the fingers, release some tension. Deep breath in, full breath out. And then we'll take the other side. So coming back up to hands and knees, flip around here. Bring your right foot out to the right as a little kickstand and extend your left leg behind you. So right hand's just ahead of the shoulder, and then begin to press down and reach that left arm to the sky. Okay, back foot on the floor, really get some purchase there. Press down. And then if you'd like to add the variation, you can extend that bottom leg, either stack or stagger the feet. Don't let the hips sink down. So really squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the hips to lift the hips. And then again, options. You can lift this top leg, you can bring it to tree pose. You can wobble and fall out of it. And then as you're ready, slowly release. Let's rest in child's pose here again. Relax the wrists. Rock your head from side to side. Take a deep breath or two. And then from here, we'll roll over onto our backs. So just a couple of back bends here at the beginning of our day. Gonna wake us up, keep that heat moving. Feet bent, or excuse me, knees bent, feet flat to the floor. And make what we call robot arms, right? So elbows close to you, close to your body, and elbows bent, fingers facing the sky, pointing towards the sky. You might find you can shimmy your shoulders together a little bit closer. Just like we did at the beginning of class, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the pelvic floor as you now lift the hips. And you may find you can shimmy the shoulders a little bit closer together. Keep those robot arms. Gently press into the back of the head here. And take a moment to find your breath. So we want to be high up on the shoulders. We don't want to have any pressure on the neck or that C7 bone at the bottom of the base of the neck there. And then options here, you can release the hands to the floor, but keep pressing into the outer upper shoulders. You can interlace the fingers underneath you. Recommit to the legs and the feet. And you might adjust the posture as you find more space, right? Last breath here. And then release. Widen the shoulders underneath you. Release the hips to the floor. And let the knees sway from side to side. So we'll take one more round of that with some variation options. Okay, so you can take the same posture you did just now or do something a little bit different. So come back to knees bent, feet flat to the floor. Bring those robot arms into play again and shimmy your shoulder blades underneath you. Press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs as you lift the hips. And then shimmy the shoulders a little bit more underneath you maybe. All right, so here, if you have that lift, I need to come up onto my toes to make this happen. But you can bring the hands underneath you, underneath the hips, kind of like a shelf. So the thumbs are wrapping towards the low back and the fingers are wrapping around the sides of the hips here. Okay. If this doesn't work for you, stick with your bridge. but you're still pressing into the feet and lifting the low belly. And then maybe here you'd like to lift a leg, press into that bottom foot, and place that foot back down. Maybe lift the other leg, press into the bottom foot, place the foot back down. Maybe you'd like to gradually lift both legs and then flip the hands to come into Viparita Karani. Okay, so these are all just options to play with. I'll give you a few more breaths here to play. And then we'll make our way back to the floor. So if the legs were lifted, find your way to make the shelf with your hands, to lower the feet back down, release the hands, release the hips. Yay, widen the feet and rock the knees from side to side. Big, deep, nourishing breaths here. The next time the knees sway to the right, let them stay. Reach that left arm up and overhead, and then squeeze your left glute to press your left knee and your left arm away from each other. So hopefully you'll feel a stretch along the left side body, maybe in the front of the left thigh. So squeeze that left glute to really lengthen the left side. And then soften and release. Let's come to the other side. Arms down, knees to the left. Reach that right arm up and overhead. And then again, squeeze your right glute to press the hip forward and lengthen through the right side body. So knee reaches away from right fingers. And then release. Release the arms down, bring the knees back to center. Hug the knees in here. You can make some circles in one direction, massage the low back in the other direction. Knees come in towards center and let the knees come wide. You can keep, we're gonna move to happy baby. So if you've got a variation you like, go for it. Release the inner thighs, soften around the low belly now. Soften the shoulders. You can stay with the hands around the shins or reach inside the knees for shins, ankles, or outer edges of the feet. Always coming back to softening the inner thighs, low belly, and the shoulders. And then maybe moving to another variation if you wish, or staying right where you are and enjoying the posture. So we've taken a deep turn towards rest and softening into gravity. Go ahead and release your happy baby. Draw the knees into the chest one more time. Reach the legs long, reach the arms up and overhead. Take a big stretch. Maybe stretch to the right side body, reach the foot and the arm away from each other. And then through the left side, reach the left arm, left leg away. And through both sides, reaching long. And then release, arms come down, let the feet flop open. Come into your Shavasana posture. So if you need any time to find an extra layer, move mindfully, move slowly to find a blanket or some socks or a piece of fabric to place over the eyes if it's bright in your room. But slowly and mindfully making your way towards rest. So feet come a little wider than the hips. Allow the arms to come away from the body, palms face up. Soften around the eyes, gently let the eyes come closed. Find a comfortable position for your head and your neck. So know that you can move at any time. When you do find a place to be still, intend to allow the body to rest. From here, take a deep breath in through the nose, fill the belly. And a soft exhale through the mouth, let the back body sink. Do that again. Inhale through the nose, fill up the torso. Exhale through the mouth, allow the back body to sink. Take that pattern 1 to 2 more times. Fill the body, bringing in energy, rejuvenation for your day. Do it on exhale, let go. And now return to your natural breath in and out of the nose. Again, feel the body at rest on the floor. Feel the breath become more and more effortless. Now bring your attention to your heels. Allow the heels to be pulled by gravity, sinking a little bit deeper into the floor. Draw your attention to your calves. Allow them to be heavy. Allow those to relax. Be drawn into the support of the earth. The breath stays effortless by itself. Soften around the glutes and the hips, the low belly. Allow the breath to nourish. Allow the abdominal organs to sink back and down. Soften around the rib cage and even relax the lungs and around the heart. Bring your attention to your arms. Arms become even more heavy from shoulders out through the wrists. Feel a sense of heaviness in the hands, the palms, the thumbs, and the fingers. Breath is easy as you soften around the chest, around the front of the throat, the sides of the neck, tops of the shoulders. Breath is effortless, body resting. Relax the jaw, the teeth gently part, let the tongue widen. Soften in the outer ears, the inner ears, the corners of the eyes soften. Eyes become heavy in their sockets. Soften the forehead. Allow the mind to rest at the point between the eyebrows and a few centimeters back towards the brain. Entire body resting here for just one more minute. Breath effortless, and the mind rests at the brain center. And begin to widen your awareness, take in your entire body, your space, visualize the space around you. Watch as the breath begins to deepen, maybe feeling a sense of nourishment, vitality within and around the body. When you're ready, run the thumbs across the tips of the fingers, begin to wiggle the toes gently, and slowly rock your head from side to side. Take your time, reawaken slowly, take some moments to stretch and move. We'll roll onto the side body here. You can bend the knees, rest your head on your arm, or if you can. And once you're on your side body, take a deep breath in, feel the belly, and a full breath out, feel the support of the floor. Use your hands and arms to press to a nice tall seat. Eyes can be closed or at a soft gaze. Keep the attention inward for just a few more moments. And as you sit up nice and tall, feel your sit bones grounded, your legs grounded. Feel that sense of support from the hips, the pelvic floor, the legs to support you as you move through your day. Spine nice and tall as we draw our hands to heart center. Closing our practice with gratitude for our time together, the ability to move and breathe together. And today, as you move forward, may your practice benefit those around you. May you have peace in your thought, peace in your words, and a deep peace in your heart. Namaste. Thank you for practicing today.